putting an end to identity politics. This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show.
All right, everybody, welcome back. Kevin Jackson here. It's Kevin Jackson Show. KJRadio.com. We are documenting what's happening in the Democrats' playbook. The Alinsky tactics. They no longer work, but they still want to use it. So let them use it. I'm not going to, look, I explained to the Democrats, we're on to them. If they listen to the program, and they do, they write to me. You Uncle Tom, you this, that, and the other. And fine. By the way, if you're a leftist out there and you want to send me some hate mail, feel free. KJRadio.com. If you want to call, leave your hate messages, 844-551-8255. And for you people out there that want to leave your messages of love, you can do the same. So we're talking about Gillibrand and the strategy of the left to set her up as the next big deal going into 2018. That's what they're doing. The Democrats don't have a AAA ball club. You know what I'm saying? To be honest with you, they don't have a major league, but they don't have a team coming up. And so Cory Booker, he's embroiled in some controversies. By the way, he's also saying President Trump needs to step down. He's been doing mea culpas all over the place, talking about women that he supposedly, groped. But let me tell you what that's about. That isn't because Cory Booker actually groped women. That's to make Cory Booker not be gay. Just so you guys are aware. The rumor is he's gay. So the groping for him is going to be, hey, he's a real man. And then at some point, the reveal will come that Cory Booker is either bisexual or gay, and we'll have the Democrats will tout we'll have our first gay president, or they're going to let Booker and Gillibrand run together. So that's the strategy there. They're always playing the long game. I'm just watch how they set Booker up, because he was touted as being one of the guys to be groomed for president, as was, by the way, Anthony Weiner. Anthony Weiner, I know it's hard to believe, he was considered an up-and-comer in Democrat politics. Boisterous, loudmouth, secular Jew that, quite frankly, stood against everything you're for. The conservative Jews look at a guy like Anthony Weiner and go, yikes. Conservative people hear his politics. They see a skinny version of Chuck Schumer. Is when they saw Weiner, but he was a big deal. Al Franken, y'all think I'm kidding. Go look at the list of people from even 6 months ago that they say were going to be contenders in the presidential election. Al Franken's high up there. Now, once you get rid of all the people that are 70 to 80 years old, the list gets pretty small pretty fast. And it's not very many folks. They don't have a farm team, as they say in baseball. But anyway, Kirsten Gillibrand, who's from New York, she's doing an interview with Christine Amanpour, and Christine has set this thing up that it's compelling. We're at an extraordinary moment, and we've got this champion of women's rights, Gillibrand, and she doesn't have a husband, by the way, who's raped 50 women. So here we go. We've got our new champion. And she's impervious to any, history of this. And there we go. And Christine Amanpour says, the world is gripped. Here's the clip. I'm going to play the whole clip, including Gillibrand's response.
President Trump has been the Republican candidate, Roy Moore. Meanwhile, Democrats in Congress forced two of their own prominent members, Senator Al Franken and Congressman John Conyers, to resign their seats. New York Senator Kirsten Gillibrand led the movement, which was started by women in the Senate to compel Al Franken to step down. She's been wrestling with issues of abuse and accountability throughout her career, battling against sexual assault in the military and on college campus. And she joins me now for an exclusive interview from Washington. Senator Gillibrand, welcome to the program.
Thanks, Christiane. It's great to be on.
So, as I said, this is an extraordinary moment, an unprecedented time in American politics, and the world is gripped by this saga. Here it now takes aim squarely at President Trump as this whole Me Too movement, gains momentum. Should the White House be worried?
Well, President Trump should resign. These allegations are credible. They are numerous. I've heard these women's testimony, and many of them are heartbreaking. And President Trump should resign his position. Whether he will ever hold himself accountable is something, you really can't hold your breath for. And so Congress should have hearings. They should do their investigation. They should have appropriate investigations of his behavior and hold him accountable.
All right, everybody. Welcome back. Kevin Jackson here, KJRadio.com. You're Kristen Gillibrand.
She sounds like hey, yeah, so what they should do, they really ought to do this? And
she sounds like a little bitty girl, and which is going to be a problem for her. I'm just telling you, Democrats have major problems. Major problem. And the problems aren't personalities. It's not the sound of somebody's voice or whatever. The problem is they don't have a good ideology. I was talking to a guy who says to me, he goes, I just liked Obama. And I go, why you like Obama? He just seemed cool. I told this story, I think yesterday maybe. He seemed cool. He seemed like he was on top of things. And so here's the problem that the Democrats have long term. They had a guy that seemed like he was on top of things, and he wasn't. And now they're going to witness a guy who is on top of things. And while he's on top of things, you've got accusers like Kirsten Gillibrand who's saying he's a sexual predator. He's a sexual predator. And it isn't going to jive with anything that's going. There's nothing that's going out. Don't misunderstand me. There's going to be some idiots out there who will believe anything you tell them. But the overwhelming majority of people are going, it isn't going to work. And I find it interesting that the Democrats are retreading something that's already failed, because you want to prosecute it again. You think that the media is going to suddenly change. I think what they're thinking is Donald Trump's going to get baited into, I didn't do that with this woman or whatever. He doesn't have to. The women are doing a great job all on their own. Now, look, I want to cover this differently later in the broadcast because Megyn Kelly rolled these people out, and I want to talk about how that interview went here in a bit. But I want to play one of the accusers that Gillibrand says they're very highly credible. These are very credible people. The credible people she's talking about, one of them is a Hillary Clinton shill. And she wants to say, yeah, 20, 30 years ago, Donald Trump did this. And let me tell you what Donald Trump's going to go. I don't even know who you are. When would this have occurred? And, we were at some sort of a gathering, and he's going to go, I have no knowledge of it. And to Katie, I forget her last name. She's a British lady. To her point, she says, we are going to go through sexual abuse fatigue. Ladies, I'm not talking to, let me rephrase that. Chicks on the left, you guys better understand, you are opening up Pandora's box. Pardon the pun. And Pandora's probably a leftist now that I think about it. And you are not going to be able to put the whatever the contents are back in it. Because what's going to happen is people are going to have what Katie called sexual abuse fatigue. Everybody's crying foul. Yeah, one time he looked at me. Wow, did he look leeringly? No, he just glanced at me. I'll give you an example. One of my friends is a regional manager for a large shoe company, a store. And he said one of his employees, a girl, filed a complaint against her boss, who's a woman. And the guy goes, well, what did she do? And the girl goes, she looked at me. And he goes, and he thought it was a joke. And I get looked at all the time. I'm pretty hunky and all this. And he's not. He's a nerd. And so he's like, she looked at me, and he goes, well, what do you want me to do? And she was, legit. And she goes, well, it was the way she looked at me. And the girl, the supervisor, has no clue. She's like, what is she talking about? And he had to file a report on this. Anyway, I want to play this clip real quick.
These dreams never included a man lining us all up to look us over like we were pieces of meat. These dreams never included a man coming into the backstage makeup area while I sat naked under a robe.
Welcome back, everybody. Now, that was one of Trump's accusers, and he comes into the dressing room, apparently, and this girl sat naked under a robe, and that became a hashtag, naked under a robe. She doesn't even have the ability to process that she's not naked. She's a pageant girl. guys go in and out of these pageants like this, photographers, hairdressers, makeup artists, you name it, people that do their outfits. They're all going in and out of this room. This is the way the pageant works. Donald Trump has not changed the way he did it for years. And she's saying it was harrowing what he did to me. Now, she doesn't explain that there are many other girls in there as well. What's he doing to her? Nothing. Nothing that's any different than any other pageant and any other pageant girl. This is one of the accusers that they want to put in front of the American people.
He won't stop until he's the top-rated radio talk show host in America.
What kind of weird competitive freak are you?
This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show.